on, guys? So I am finally, yes, finally getting around to that 20K freaking Q&A video, which we're getting really close to 21K, but that'll probably be the last K that we get for a really long time because it's the off season and that's when the subs just always stop. So instead of wasting more time, let's go ahead and jump into the first question. What is your ultimate goal profession-wise? Well, I'd have to say that I want to make movies. Like, that's going to be my biggest thing. I've wanted to be a film director since I was a sophomore. I wasn't a freshman, sophomore. But I've noticed over the years of me wanting to be a film director, I've also wanted to be a writer. I've only wanted to be a comic book writer in the last, like, 6 years or so. I don't know, probably a little bit before I did YouTube. But I've wanted to write comic books, but I've wanted to write movies and direct movies way longer. So I want to say that is a bigger goal of mine than the comic book thing. But I think comic books have become such a part of my life now that is very up there as well. But I think my ultimate goal is to make movies. And if I could make a comic book movie, that would just be the biggest thing ever. But yeah, I would say professional wise, my biggest thing would be to be a film director. Do you plan to still upload videos on YouTube in 20 years? Well, that's kind of hard to say. Will I be alive in 20 years? Will YouTube be a thing in 20 years? 20 years is a huge gap. 5 years, I could still see YouTube being around and still being like a powerhouse. Well, 20 years, you don't know. We don't know how technology will change. We don't know what we'll be using. Like, will laptops be different? Will whatever? Will America still exist? Because everything just seems so crazy right now. But, yeah, it's like, it's pretty insane. But, I don't know. I mean, I would think so. I would think, I mean, in regards to the last question, the internet and social media is such a big part of, like, today's world that I think if I ever became, like, a big film director or anything like that, I would continue to use social media. Probably I wouldn't be able to do it as frequently, like the way I put out videos, like, you know, 3 to 4 to 5 videos a week. I doubt I'd be able to do that anymore because you'd be putting so much more time into, you know, productions and writing and all that stuff. I would still like to post a video, like, you know, once every other week or something like that. Well, whatever time would allow, because I don't know how busy I would be. But yeah, I mean, if YouTube's still around in 20 years and I'm, you know, depending on what my profession is, I'd still love to be uploading videos for sure. And will you be reviewing or at least commenting on Game of Thrones when it comes back? Now, I want to, but I feel like, I don't know, and I kind of got away from this with Walking Dead, but I think sometimes I got to take a break from some of those shows because I feel like I'm not giving an in-depth review like I do with Gotham and Flash and stuff like that because I feel like I know a little bit more about those two things. Although with The Walking Dead, I feel like it's changed so much from the comic books that I can actually give my opinion on what I think is going to happen, and it'll actually, you know, it'll be something. Because when did I stop? Did I stop midway? I think I stopped midway through this season, this last season of The Walking Dead, because it just got kind of slow and boring, and I just wasn't really excited to make those videos, but I started covering it towards the end, and the next season looks like it's going to be, you know, pretty good. But as for Game of Thrones, I stopped covering Game of Thrones because I felt like I didn't have enough knowledge for the series, because, you know, there's not a Game of Thrones comic books that I know of. They're just like actual novels and stuff like that, and I was going to try to read all of them. I actually bought them, but there's no way I'm going to be able to read all of them before the season starts unless I buy audiobooks, which I could probably buy audiobooks and listen to them, but I don't know. I want to. If it's really badass, I'll more than likely do it, and plus it's only going to be 7 episodes, so I might do videos on them. But yeah, I will definitely be commenting about it in the live streams if I don't make videos. What will you do if you get noticed by Batman Comics and they want you to write, but you get 1 million subs and you have one, and you have to choose one? Bye. Okay, so that question was a little all over the place, but okay, so basically the gist of that is, if I got noticed from Batman Comics and and they wanted me to write Batman Comics, but I had 1 million subs, what would I choose? Well, I'd probably choose Batman Comics. And I know that sounds kind of shitty, maybe to some. Some people might be like, that doesn't sound shitty at all. It's like a really smart idea. It's been my dream to write for Batman. And if they're like, it's going to take a lot of time, because when you're writing for a big thing like that, that company, DC, wants you to meet your deadlines. Like, you have to meet deadlines, and it would kind of suck to, like, try to, oh, I gotta do one or the other. But the thing I like about writing Batman comics, if I got the opportunity, is that is something that, one, is gonna be there forever. Those stories will always be there, and especially if you can write really well-known stories or come up with really good concepts that people are like, oh shit, remember that one time Batman did this thing? And that just gives you, I don't know, I like that opportunity of doing one thing that a lot of people are gonna see. Now, having 1 million subscribers on YouTube sounds really amazing, but there are like, I think, over 100,000 people on YouTube that have over 1 million subs, and that's insane. And like, I always have this like thing about YouTube, I call it YouTube Island. And there's like this theory I have, or this idea I have of like your importance or your like fame, I should say, on YouTube. Like, it seems a lot to a bunch of other people, but in the whole grand scheme of like YouTube, you're still really nothing at 1 million subscribers. You're able to survive on your own, you're able to do your stuff, but it's like a lot of people still don't know who you are. But if you were writing for Batman, like everybody's all like, there's only like 4 or 5 Batman writers at one time, because somebody's writing Detective, All-Star, you know, the Batman title. So like everybody, you know, all eyes on you. Which, although that is a lot of pressure, but I don't know, I've just always had a dream to write for Batman, and like I would love to be able to be one of those people in the future, like Alan Moore, you know, who wrote The Killing Joke. Like, if you could write an iconic story like that, and people are just always going to reference your book for being one of them, like, I like that idea. That looks pretty freaking, that just seems pretty awesome to go down as somebody like that. You know what I mean? I would love the chance at it. There's no guarantee that your story would be like that, but I would love to try to have the opportunity to write something amazing. Next question, do you think that the DCEU will do a Flashpoint storyline using the actor who played Thomas in the BVS? That's what a lot of people want, and I think if they do that, do it on freaking the third Flash movie. Like, you do the first Flash movie, second Flash movie, and then you do Flashpoint to kind of change up the DCEU if you need to, which I think would be the perfect time. Like, everybody's using like Infinity War as the big like turning point for the next phases, bringing in new characters, bringing in new actors and stuff like that. I think Flashpoint could be the DCEU's turning point if they needed to. And I think, you know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Cohan would be a great Batman and Joker for the Flashpoint series. So I think Flashpoint would have to be like a big event with all of the superheroes and not necessarily just a Flash movie. I guess kind of like Civil War was for Captain America. I feel like that would be, Flashpoint would be something like that. Next question, what has been the hardest part of being on your YouTube journey, and the best part? What makes it worth the journey? Okay, that question is very, very interesting. I think the hardest part is kind of a combination of two. It's one, doubting yourself, where you feel like you're never ever gonna make it. You never feel like you're gonna, you know, get the subs you think you want or whatever. That and comments. Like, a lot of people feel like it's so easy to dodge comments, and like, I've gotten way better at it, but if you're just starting out and you start getting really shitty comments, unless you're able to build yourself back up or you have like some kind of support system, comments can knock you down pretty bad. But when it comes to the comments, I think as long as you have the passion to keep pushing forward, they won't get to you that much, at least in my eyes. I know some people that, you know, have a different perspective on life, or just maybe have some self-esteem issues or something like that, might actually take comments more to heart, but I kind of just push them to the side, because most of the time you realize how stupid they are, and I think that might also be a reason why it's a little bit like harder when you're starting out YouTube when you're younger. I mean, I started YouTube in my mid-20s, so I mean, I was a little bit more like, you know, keen to the world, but I mean, if you're like in your teens and people are like, you're fucking stupid and shit, I think comments could really knock you down. So I think you gotta have the passion to keep pushing forward. But I think that your biggest enemy in YouTube is yourself. If you feel like you're never gonna make it, if you feel like, the worst mindset you can get in is when you're doing videos and then you see somebody else's videos doing really successful and you're like, no, I'm fucking better than that guy. You're like, well, I should be doing that. Is the worst mindset you can get in, because you're constantly comparing yourself to somebody else. You don't know what that person does. You don't know what his audience is or her audience. You just, like, everybody likes different type of people. There's a lot of you guys, 20,000 of you guys that hit the subscribe button that like watching me, but I have a very, very different style compared to everybody else that does these types of videos. Like, everybody else does the no face and just, like, you know, moving stuff and let's just talk about facts and, like, nothing. Like, you know, I want to be in front of the camera, I want to be entertaining, but at the same time giving you content that you know you want. And, like, I don't know, that's just my style. Now, I probably haven't grown because this style is so different than everybody else, but, you know, it's what I like to do. I think the best part of the journey is the people that I've met during this and the opportunities that I've gotten. I've gotten some cool things by doing YouTube. Like I said, I got to work with an app company for a few months, or for like about a year's time. I got to work for an app company, and I got to travel a little bit, like to New York and Orlando, and go to YouTube parties and stuff like that, which was pretty awesome. I've gotten noticed by WB and like DC Comics, and they've sent me some cool stuff. You know, I showed you guys the stuff from Gotham that I got. So, I mean, that kind of stuff, just getting recognition from bigger companies is really cool, but I don't think that beats the connections I've made with a lot of people. Literally, since doing YouTube, a majority of my best friends are YouTubers or have come from watching my videos or whatever. So, like, my friend Zenargo, you guys hear him, he's been on the streams and stuff like that. He was a viewer. Like, when I had, like, 500 subscribers or something like that, and he liked the old school videos that I was ridiculous and just trying to be like a comedian kind of thing going on. He enjoyed those videos, and I would talk to him, we'd play video games, stuff like that, and bada bing bada boom, he's like one of my best friends now. And then, like, I have my friend Aaron and like all these other people that I've met through YouTube, and I think that's the best part of the journey. It's not about, like, you know, getting 20,000 subs or anything like that. I think it's the people that I've met is the best thing that has come from this whole YouTube experience. Could you do a room tour? Yeah, okay, posters here, comics there, pops there, Sin City wall. Boom. What's your top favorite idea for whenever you come out with a comic book? Well, I'm not a fan of talking about my ideas. This is how crazy, and I've grown differently from this. Like, I've talked to people in the business and whatnot, but I used to be really, really, like, secretive with my ideas and stuff like that, because I don't want anybody to steal them, you know? I don't want somebody to be like, oh, that's awesome, I'm gonna take that and apply it to my idea, because some people are really far in their ideas, and they're just, like, missing that one piece, and what if I give them that one piece, and they're like, oh, let me take that, and they put it in theirs, and bada bing, bada boom, my fucking idea is gone, you know what I'm saying? But, like I'm saying, I used to be really secretive to the point where when I was dating a girl for 5 years, I didn't fucking tell her shit. She'd always be like, so what are you writing? I'm like, nothing, bitch! Nothing, this is mine! But, like, I wouldn't share my ideas. I'm very different now. I've talked to, you know, friends and other people about some of the comic book ideas I have, but I try not to leave out, like, plot twists. I try to leave out plot twists and, like, crazy, shocking moments. I just tell them about characters and stuff like that. I still don't want to reveal that to the major audience here, but I will give you a gist of it. I have like a post-apocalyptic kind of story. I know I totally just said that wrong, but I have like kind of like an end-of-the-world scenario story in one of them. Actually, a lot of my comics kind of feel that way, but they're not necessarily that way. But I have kind of like a, sort of on the lines of the Walking Dead kind of style. It's not like, there's no superpowers or anything like that. It's just more of a realistic story, because I love the idea of just building characters, and I feel like, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, The Walking Dead's all about zombies, and it's not really about zombies. It's more about people and the way they try to survive. And those stories have always been intriguing to me, because that's just human nature. Like, people will always do things that others will think are wrong, but in the time it seems right for, you know, trying to survive. So I have a story like that I really want to do. It's not based on, it's more based on like 2 characters than a whole group of characters. And I don't know, it was actually going to be a movie that me and my friend were writing, but I was all like, you know, I'm more into it than that other person was. So I'm just like, I had this idea of like, I was like, I like people that work equally together, and like he just, you know, he wanted to do his other things. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, but what if we turn this into a comic book? Because he's really into comic books too. And he was like, oh, fuck yeah, that'd be awesome. But so I've been writing some stuff for that. I don't know if he's wrote anything. But yeah, so it's just a movie we were writing, and we decided to turn it into a comic book. So that one's one of the bigger ideas that I really want to work on, but that kind of involves, shut up, phone! Phone's just being a little ridiculous right now. But that's one of my bigger ideas. But I also have one that I've written completely myself, and it involves superpowers, and I'm world building right now. I haven't really wrote like the first issue or anything, but I have like some crazy things that'll happen eventually in the stories, but I'm just world building with these new characters. But it's writing comic books can be a little bit like scary too, because you know you're gonna have to build a whole world, and unless like DC or Marvel buy it, like it's gonna be very little bit of people that are gonna actually get to know about it. So it's gonna be really interesting to build a comic book universe when other people might not read about it. But I know some of you guys keep asking about it and you guys want to read, and I'm hoping to, like I'm saying, you know, if I go full time eventually, hopefully this year, I want to set aside days or like times per day that I'll actually just sit down and write, because right now, like, I'm trying to get this video out before work, and it's a lot, and if I had more time to like work on the website and write and do all this other stuff, I don't know, I feel like I can get to my comic books a lot more, but right now it's just kind of crazy. Next question, would you eat a bowl of nails for 500K? Are you talking about like metal nails or like fingernails? And are we talking about like 500K subs or 500K dollars? Since I want to be a director myself, I wonder, what director do you look up to the most, and who is your favorite? That's a tough question. I mean, I love Spielberg. Spielberg's great, but I feel like that's such a generic answer. But he's done so many great things. I like Stanley Kubrick for his cinematography and everything. Like, Stanley Kubrick was really amazing. Of course, Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan's really great. J.J. Abrams, like you said, is also a lot of, you know, great. He's a great director too, but everybody will be like, lens flares, which I don't really care. But I mean, I notice them now that everybody fucking talks about him all the time. I like Michel Gondry too, I believe. If you ever, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know. Made Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Fucking love that movie. But I don't know if I have one director that I'm all like, oh man, I gotta watch everything they do. I don't know. I like Edgar Wright. I love Edgar Wright's style so much. But I don't see him as a director that I look up to. Like, I'm like, oh man, I want to be like Edgar Wright so bad. The thing I find is I get more inspired by movies than I do the directors. Now, I appreciate their styles, I appreciate what they did, but what I do, or my vision as a director, is to watch all of these movies that I love and try to take some camera, stop recording. But yeah, so when it comes to movies, I just try to, like, you know, pick things I like from every different one, because I feel like if you only watch one director and you only care about one director's styles, you're gonna try to mimic that style, and I like to just, you know, pick from a bunch of different baskets and stuff. For the podcast, will you upload it to YouTube as well as iTunes? Maybe. I don't know. I think it'll start off on iTunes, to be honest, and then maybe go to YouTube. The reason why is I feel like when you post them on YouTube, I feel like you should have some kind of setup, and I don't think I'm going to have a YouTube setup, or like I'm not going to have a setup for podcasts, because my idea to start the podcast first is I want to try to hang out with some of my friends, or I want to maybe start the first one by myself. I don't really know, but I feel like the ones by myself is literally just going to be me talking, and I think that'd be kind of a boring video, but I find it hilarious when it's actually more people and everybody can talk. So I don't think it's going to be a video podcast at the start. Maybe if the podcast gets big enough to where I could actually have it be a video podcast, then yeah, that would be awesome. But as of right now, I think when I start off the podcast, it's definitely just going to be on iTunes. Would you consider having multiple writers involved in your website? Eventually, that is what I want. But I need to get the website going a little bit, and I would love to have people working on the website. Hopefully, maybe I can do some kind of like intern thing for, you know, maybe people that are inspiring writers and you just want to get like attached to something, and maybe you like writing about superheroes or movies and stuff like that. I would love to start incorporating people into this website. Now, the hard thing about that is I can't really pay anybody for this, but if somebody wanted to get like just credit, or to have, you know, like, oh yeah, I work for this website, or I contribute to this website is what I should say, that'd be cool. But that is just something I want to get to eventually down the line, and just have like guest writers on and be like, oh, this is what so-and-so thought about the new, you know, whatever ideas or information. Because one, it would help out a lot, but I think two, at the same time, that helps out other people, because I feel like nowadays people want you to go to college and they want you to get these degrees, but then when you go into the workforce, it's all like, oh yeah, you need to have experience of like 5 years. And it's like, bitch, I've just been in college for 5 years. How am I supposed to get 5 years experience? So, you know, maybe it'd be something like that where people would be like, well, I actually wrote for this website for the last 2 years, blah, blah, and that might help people out. That's kind of what I'm kind of like hoping I would do, because I know a lot of people always want to do stuff like that, but they don't have an outlet. Not everybody can start a website. Not everybody can, you know, have the vision to do that. And I have a vision, I just don't have the time to write about everything I would love to write about. So, you know, hopefully we can get to that point. But yeah, I would definitely love other writers on the website. My question to you would be, can we get a vlog of your hometown? Maybe. Actually, the next vlog is probably going to be E3, because I'm going to E3 in 2 weeks. Holy shit, that is coming up quick. It's actually like, I'm leaving in like 10 days. I gotta start packing. Fuck. But yeah. So, the next vlog is going to be E3, and then, yeah, if I have time, it'll be vlog, and then San Diego Comic-Con, because those are in the next 2 months. But definitely, I could totally try to do something like that. I was going to do one about going to a lot of the parks in my city and catch Pokemon, but I never got around to that. But, yeah, vlogging is, it's just something you got to try to fit into the schedule. Like I said, I'm constantly doing so much, it's hard to do vlogs, which I really enjoyed making vlogs, because I felt like that was my little bit of speck of, like, trying to do film stuff. So yeah, definitely, eventually. How much time are you able to spend making videos, and how much time do you think you will have when you go full-time on YouTube? Well, like right now, it's 11:53 a.m. and I'm trying to make this movie before I go to work, which I work every day from 3 to 11, but I have to leave at least by like 2 to get to work on time for sure. But I usually leave at 1:30 so I can just get there, make sure I'm really there, and sometimes they let us clock in early. So, because I need money. In all seriousness, I'm usually going to my job around 1:30, 2 o'clock. So I have to have all my videos done by then. And I usually wake up around 10:30. So I'm filming between like 10:30 and 1 o'clock. Like, that's the time I have to film and make a video. And sometimes you can see it in the videos. I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like going like even like faster than I usually am. But I don't know, it's rough. I would say I have about 2 hours every day before work to work on videos, and that's why sometimes I'm not able to put them out, because I edit, you know, if I film a lot of stuff, the edit takes longer, and that's kind of rough. So, but when it comes to full-time, I don't know, when it comes to full-time, I'm going to be streaming. Streaming will be my job, so I'll be streaming like 5 hours a day or something like that, you know, whatever I can. I'm going to set up a schedule, though, where I take maybe like Wednesday and Saturday off, or something along those lines. But it'll be really interesting, because the stream schedule will change when the shows come back, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, or depending on whenever I go full-time, they would change when the shows come back, because I don't want to be on streaming when the shows are on, because then people are going to start spoiling them purposely in the chat, which I don't want, so I wouldn't stream during shows. But it'll be really interesting to see what happens. So I don't know how much time I'm going to have, but I want to come up with a schedule when I do come full-time to be able to stream as my job. YouTube will still be my side gig, but I'll still be able to put out videos like on a daily basis is what the goal would be and should be. When I say daily basis, I mean like Monday through Friday for sure. Alright, I've taken a lot of time on these, so the last few questions that I've picked out, I'm going to go ahead and just rapid fire them, alright? So let's go ahead and do this. What movie comic influenced your life the most, good or bad? How did it change your outlook on life? M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, I know a lot of people say it sucks, but that movie inspired me to become a filmmaker. I thought that movie was like, what? I don't know why, it just blew my mind. I was like, holy shit. Some of the things in there that he did, like, so subtly, I fucking fell in love with. That movie changed my life. Are you gonna try and watch Krypton on Sci-Fi? Yes. If and when you go full-time, if you raise enough, will you move to Cali when you're being planned on for a few years? Do I plan on moving to California? Maybe. Apparently, my friend is in the industry now, and if I feel like I'm ever gonna just stop doing YouTube and I want to join the industry, I could go over there, and he says he might be able to get me in. So I'm like, oh, because apparently, that's just how you get in the damn industry. You know somebody. But, I don't know. If I raise enough, will I move to Cali? If I could support myself and live comfortably in Cali and I'm not like in a box and like I can't even get Wi-Fi, then no, I won't move over there. I'll stay in Texas. But if I have enough and I'm like, you know, able to support myself in Cali and be able to do the same kind of material, then yeah, I would definitely move over there. Do you think the Joker is super sane? No, I think he's crazy. I don't think anybody's sane kills and murders a bunch of people. Would it be a good idea for DC to put an upcoming Teen Titans series on the CW, or should they try to stick exclusively to streaming? No, they should stick exclusively to streaming. If they put it on CW, nobody is going to buy the streaming service. Why would anybody buy it if they can just wait for it to be on Netflix or be on CW. The smart thing is keep it on the network. That way people have to buy it. Kind of like WWE. WWE made the WWE network. That's how you get the pay-per-views now. Bada bing, bada boom. DC is going to do the same thing. So no, I don't think it should be on the CW. It should be part of the CW verse though, if that's what you're asking, but it shouldn't be shown on CW. Alright guys, that is going to be it for this Q&A. I just want to say thank you guys so much for actually just sticking around and enjoying the content and supporting the channel with anything you do, whether you're somebody that donates, whether you're somebody that supports the Patreon, whether you're somebody that just hits that like button on every single video or comments. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for 20K, and I'm hoping the way this is going, we'll hit 30K this time next year, because I literally got a thing on Facebook that was all like, you know, 1 year ago today, and we hit 10,000. So the way this channel works is apparently 10,000 every year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next year or so. But I do really appreciate you guys for actually, you know, just being around. You guys are awesome. And with that, the giveaway winner for the Samsung Gear VR is Shelby Ortiz. Woo, Shelby! I am going to be messaging you on the internet, or I'm going to actually, you know, I'm going to send you an email, expect an email in the next couple of days. I'll probably email it out today or tomorrow. But yeah, if I don't hear back from you by Monday, I'm going to pick a new winner, Shelby. So I hope you watch this video, or I hope you check your emails daily at least. Anyways, that's going to be the winner. Congrats, Shelby, on that. But again, all you guys are really awesome. I really appreciate the support. But as always, wait, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your Q&A buddies. I don't know. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. If I'm a daily dose of juice, see you guys next time.